What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Snowcast Sports Talk Podcast, episode 76. Joined here by my brothers John and Matt. John and Matt, how are we doing today?
Good. I have an idea, just as you said that. What if we start saying episode 76 or episode 2 of season 2?
Episode 2 of season 2. We could say both. This is the second time since the new season we're doing a podcast, so it's a good point.
Yeah.
We could very easily say that.
Or maybe we say episode 76, volume 2.
Volume 2. That's good as well. Both of those are good.
We'll brainstorm later. We'll workshop later.
I got asked how I was doing, and John kind of just took over. So I'm gonna also say how I'm doing.
Go for it.
Yeah, let it
Go
out.
for it. How are you? So is your Zeke jersey on the way?
Is he a signed Patriot yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
As of today?
As of yesterday.
No, and I was gonna bring that up. That was why I was kind of joking.
Matt, we should grab Zeke.
I'm gonna give the honest opinion about it.
He's actually gonna be an animal?
No, John, because then the Jets went and signed James Cook, Dalvin Cook, the other running back who was a free agent he was a Pro Bowler last year for the Vikings, and then the Pro Bowler the year before that, and Pro Bowler a year before that, and a Pro Bowler the year before that. They paid $2 million more, and the Patriots got Zeke Elliott, who has declined every year since his rookie year.
Yeah. But the thing I can say about Zeke Elliott real quick, I am not happy with the signing. I wanted a wide receiver over a running back. That being said,
I'm kind of hyped.
Julio's still on the open market.
Let me finish.
We did drop James Cook? No, that's not the right name. We dropped some running back we signed. I don't remember his name. He was from the Jags, went to the Jets, didn't last on the Jets, went to the Patriots. He didn't last through the preseason. We cut him. I think an injury.
Oh, he's on the Giants now from the Jaguars.
Yeah, he's on the Giants.
James.
It's not James Cook. That's all I can think about.
I can tell you. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I drafted him in fantasy last year. But I'm okay with it because we did need a decent running back too under Stevenson, and we didn't have that.
Yep.
And getting Ezekiel Elliott, that's a good pick. Not to mention, even though he's been declining every year as a running back, his red zone, whatever, I'm really not sure what to say. Like, he's just
efficiency.
Efficiency, yeah. His red zone efficiency is great. He had 12 touchdowns last year, and Patriots were ranked towards the bottom in the red zone. So
I need to say something.
Getting a player who is good in the red zone and score touchdowns because you can just do those quick runs in. So, like, that might be something the Patriots need, and it might be clutch as hell. I'm not positive yet, but I don't love this.
We'll see.
I'm actually mad hyped for the signing. I'm just gonna get it out. I actually puts a smile.
John wants the Patriots to bring back Cam Newton,
why?
and he wants the Cam Newton, Zeke Elliott. Look at John.
Matt, nothing would make me a Patriots fan quicker. But more importantly, two important facts. One,
it's men talking here, John. Give me some truths.
Here's some truths. We'll start with the Jets real quick because it's quicker. Their O-line is garbage, and I watched a whole video about how they were about to sign an O-line also from the Cowboys, who's an absolute savage.
Zach Martin.
And they decided it was Zach Martin. They decided Zeke, and they decided Dalvin Cook instead. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that was stupid. The Jets are just like, I'm starting to look like an idiot.
In the Jets' defense, Zach Martin he was tradable. So he's under contract, but he just didn't feel like he was being paid enough. So he was sitting out from the Cowboys. So it wasn't as easy for the Jets.
Okay. Yeah, to just
his holdout actually did work, I heard. He lost a couple million, but is going to get more from the contract. But sorry, keep going.
No, that's okay. Either way, I don't know. Spending that money on a running back when you could have done a little homework and found some O-linemen to help out your man A-Rod would have been way more.
Aaron Rodgers took enough of a pay cut, though, that
they should have enough. Yeah, but
they could sign more.
Dude, we're running out of time. I was watching a whole video on this. We're starting soon. And every day they wait is the day they're going to be less prepared. There's going to be less continuity.
Yeah, between the team. Yeah.
Tons. So I don't. The fact they signed Dalvin Cook to me actually makes me very worried about the Jets. I think that was way dumber than Zeke. A question though. I'm done with the Jets. We'll jump to them in a minute. Zeke is okay being a number 2, or are they really sitting Stevenson?
No, he's a number 2.
Clear. Just gonna run him like 50-50.
I mean that's. I mean look at how any winning team in the NFL does it. You had P. Ryan and Mixon. You have Edwards-Helaire.
But Stevenson is primary.
Yeah, Stevenson's running back 1. I'm pretty sure Zeke would be
crazy.
But
yeah,
All right.
I mean,
you-
Zeke
I'm all
doesn't. I
finished.
mean, Pollard is the #1 in Dallas. He's not even the #1 in Dallas at the moment. So
yeah.
Yeah, fair.
A couple things with Zeke. I don't believe this, Matthew, but I want to give you, as I know you're a Patriots fan, I want to give you, this is some ammo if anyone gives you crap about Zeke. One of the big reasons Zeke declined is every year the offensive line for the Cowboys got worse. It's a great reason why Dak started playing worse. Dak's best season as a Cowboy was when the least amount was expected from him. The top offensive line in the NFL, and Ezekiel Elliott, his rookie year, was clearly the best running back in the NFL. That is when Dak played his best. That O-line deteriorated every year until this year, and now it's not even a top 10 O-line, arguably. So just know with Zeke, does not have the quickness. Zeke does not have the speed he used to have, but he might still have some of the power, and if you have a decent O-line, I think Zeke will look improved anyway. I just don't think Zeke is worth $6.8 million. And the difference between Zeke, this is the problem. The difference between Zeke at 6.8 and Dalvin Cook at 8.6, that like 2.2 million, that's actually like not a lot of money, and the Jets got a significantly better running back. I think even before Zeke signed, any Patriots fan would say they want Dalvin Cook over that. But the Patriots are also like, we don't need a #1. Stevenson's our #1. We need a #2.
Yeah. The Jets, the Jets had Breece Hall.
But he's coming off injury, and now he gets more. But Breece Hall is coming off injury, and now he has more time to rest. So that makes sense.
This would be like an interesting little experiment, though, because is a worse running back being Zeke with a better O-line going to produce better numbers than an excellent running back with a
look at Josh.
The Patriots did much better.
Well, depends on how well the Patriots depends on how well the O-line plays for the Pats.
We think it's
going to be
okay,
to say.
Right?
The O-line,
it's iffy.
It's not the best. It's definitely
used to be better.
It's our weak point at the moment.
It's a great reason why Tom Brady's last season in New England was very rough.
Yeah.
And
there's still some good players on there, but we had so many injuries last season. It was basically all the backups. That was
fair. Why Mac played bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even if just shifting to the Giants, one of the reasons Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley had a better year is Andrew Thomas is arguably the second best left tackle in the NFL behind Trent Williams. And, he got paid like it this year. The Giants paid Andrew Thomas like $96 million because when you have a good offensive line and more specifically a good left tackle, you're good. That neutralizes like 30% of every team's defense. That neutralizes a Joey Bosa, a Chase Young, a Matthew Judon, So offensive line's a huge player, but I mean, John, this is why last podcast I don't have much faith at all in the Jets because if that O-line isn't where it's supposed to be and the amount of unneeded hype that team is getting, it just seems like it's a recipe for disaster. Because Aaron Rodgers gave him $35 million to spend, and Dalvin Cook is the best free agent on the market. Regardless of position, he was a Pro Bowler last year.
But I guess then the question is, do you think a great running back is better than 5 mid O-linemen for this team next year?
Probably.
Well, I guess,
okay, then they're not in that much trouble. I was watching a whole video about this.
No, they
People
are
hyping up how much trouble they're in.
Well,
I think
and then other people are
the
thinking they're Super Bowl prospects.
Super Bowl. The way I see it is they're either going to the Super Bowl or they're not going to win a game, depending on the O-line. That's like the polarization of the O-line is crazy right now. And it's not just us. You hear it everywhere. It's weird. They're either going to be in the Super Bowl or they're going to lose 12 games. It's like there's no middle.
Could be one or the other.
Right. Yeah,
I think the Jets are going to run with what they got at the moment, but I just also feel like they're like a big family that's going on vacation. I heard this earlier today, and I liked it. Like a big family going on vacation. They have all the cousins. They have everybody with them, all excited, and they're just like, you know what? We can invite one more person. They just drove back real quick, got one more person. Really
put him in the car.
Put him in the car. And they just went on their vacation. That is what the Jets are doing right now.
And the final piece about the Jets, and then for the remainder of the episode, we'll talk about the NFC East. We talked about the AFC East last time, but the final thing about the Jets, they're still the Jets, and I don't. It's just
that's the truth.
I'll tell you what scares me about that statement. The truth of the matter is the Buccaneers were the most losing team in football until Tom went. You can look it up. They were the most. I don't even know how that stat's recorded, but however that stat is recorded, for a fact, the most losing team. You know what? I take it back. They were the most losing team in sports, not just the NFL. Sports. Until Tom went. That's all I'm saying is to judge a team before some really key players go doesn't go as far as it sounds.
That's a good point, but at least all of us can agree here, and it's been said on this podcast. Aaron Rodgers is not.
And I know, John, I find it very funny that you compare those two the way you do. I was just gonna say to you, it's a little cold as a Tom Brady lover like you, who when they played each other, you were very quick to point out the differences. Now you think they have the same effect on a team, and that to me is interesting.
Fair. I think it becomes heavily on years of Aaron Rodgers being ranked higher, years of MVPs.
Aaron Rodgers is a great player. That doesn't mean you have a good effect on a team. Russell Wilson's a great player, and he basically tanked the Broncos in one season.
But MVP doesn't mean highest stats in NFL. It means most valuable. And so if you're going to give a guy most valuable, then he does need to,
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, the Jets will see. We've made our picks.
If he can't, then I'm going to really shove the point that MVP means nothing. If most valuable player can't lift the team, I'm really gonna say.
Well, most valuable.
I'm giving credit to Aaron right now.
Most valuable player at the most important position.
Right.
So
which is
double whammy.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Let's talk about the NFC East. So where we talk. You could argue the two East divisions in the AFC and the NFC probably contain 8 of the most interesting teams in the NFL. I think the only other division you could argue is as good is the AFC West with the Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos. But
the Redskins are boring though.
The Commanders.
Oh my God! I just said Commanders. I can't believe
I just funny about that is that
so
reaction
funny.
was so genuine. Yeah, you would not say that.
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
But we have the Commanders / Redskins, we have the Cowboys, we have the Eagles, and we have the Giants. What's the first thing that comes to your guys' mind when you think NFC East? What's that first thought that comes to your head? You guys know where mine. Fly Eagles fly, Matt. Get it right.
Dude,
no, you put birds. You don't put eagles.
Mine might need to be like the only difference between, I guess, just like on the subject of like Easts, like the Commanders are just the worst of the 8 by so much. It's not even funny.
Well,
like we're talking, we're talking like 80 points.
Have you heard about
the 100?
Have you heard about the Bieniemy drama? So Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, went to the Commanders. And, the thing about Eric Bieniemy is there's like kind of two conversations. Like the first one is obviously there's a bit of a race card in here, which I don't think any of us have the experience to get into. But obviously it's been brought up that, because of his skin color, he doesn't get hired for these positions. But then you kind of have the opposition saying, no. It's like, what is he? Maybe, first of all, he's bad at interviewing, which could be a possibility. And then also, too, like, what has he really contributed? But I'm going to say, I don't think it's fair for the guy. I just don't understand maybe this aspect of people. If I was Eric Bieniemy with the Chiefs and Andy Reid winning Super Bowls and being like a world-renowned offensive coordinator, and then I decide, no, I'm going to go to the Commanders, a dumpster fire of a franchise, with Sam Howell as your quarterback who has played 2 games in the NFL, and Ron Rivera, a coach who's on his way out, I don't even understand why you're doing that. So, let's start with the Commanders.
Billy, is it money? Is that why he's doing it?
No, it's pride in getting a head coaching job one day and proving you can do it. Go into a different situation to prove it.
Yeah, fair. In the Commanders' defense, Dan Snyder did sell the team, so they had a A+ offseason.
He was forced to. By the way, Dan Snyder did not decide.
I don't understand any of that comment.
Dan Snyder was the owner of the Washington Commanders. He had like 49 sexual assault cases against former employees that worked for him. He did not want to change the name. He liked calling them the Redskins, and whether you like the name or don't like the name, he was like very adamant. He was very outspoken, and he did not really care about the players very much. He was always in trouble, and like finally the NFL forced him to sell the team. Like
that's why Riverboat's the coach, dude. Doesn't that whole like thing you just said line up so well with like who we imagine Rivera is?
Well, Rivera's a good guy. I like Rivera.
Rivera's done those things, but a guy who has done those things would like a guy like Rivera. Is what I'm saying.
Maybe a guy who just gambles away everything on every play.
He
Yeah.
doesn't want. Who's the coach on the Dolphins?
Mike
McDaniels.
Yeah, dude, can you imagine that guy you just listed, Billy, hiring McDaniels?
No, no way. Yeah. Yeah. So, but now the Commanders have new ownership, so the name might change again.
I like Commanders, low key.
I do too, and their uniforms with like the
Kinda
matte
sick.
black.
I like the burgundy. I think it's cool. To me, it works really well.
I kind of want them to be the Senators, but I'm not against the
A
Commanders.
lot of people do, but I don't know. Senators just doesn't have anything special to Washington. It's the problem.
Imagine all the Star Wars memes.
No, I know, but there's a state senator.
Also,
it's
regardless of the race thing, Redskin is not a good name, and the logo.
It's very
Like if you're the
I
war,
shouldn't
like
have said that. Yeah,
if you're
a couple minutes ago.
if you're like the Viking, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
If you're the Vikings, or if you're
Kinda
like
cool.
like it's like an ancient Nordic, like Redskins, like even the Chiefs, I think is like, okay, cool, the Chiefs, like part of Native American culture, the leaders of. But like but even the logo didn't look good. But like people die by it, and I always find that I'm like, wait, the Commanders logo is kind of sick. The matte finish they put on the unis looks pretty good.
Cool.
I don't get it, but I'm also not like if they change the Giants name, I'd obviously be like, what the hell? But
Isn't it bad luck? Like, don't people think like it's bad luck to change your name?
I don't think so. Like I said, I don't know. There was always like a lot of protests from Native Americans about the name Redskins for pretty obvious reasons. Like I said, we don't really need to dive into that. Just like with the Eric Bieniemy stuff, I don't think the three of us have a whole lot of experience with any of that. But talking
Eric Bieniemy was being mean though, correct?
well,
Like, he was
yeah.
being
So that
mean,
so that was the story.
and
The players are like, "Whoa, this is too hard."
Okay, well, I think the only comment I have is like the guy who's been on the most like winning team in the NFL. And I know it sounds silly to say most winning team in the NFL, but I'm pretty sure that's how analysts really say it.
Yeah, most winning.
Either
I think
way,
you're right.
It's the Chiefs. Like, I don't think Pat Mahomes has lost a playoff game other than like the Super Bowl, like won twice in the last like 6 years, however long, 5 years he's been in the NFL now.
Yeah.
And the guy in that organization goes to a new team and they're like, oh, he's too mean. It's like, as a fan, I would be so disheartened. I'd be like, okay, so the fact we stink is because we don't practice as hard.
Because he was a great hire. If I was a Commanders fan and we got Eric Bieniemy, I'd be like, let's go.
I would drop Riverboat and put him a head coach. You kidding? Just like the mentality of like being a win.
With Andy Reid, it doesn't matter if you're not calling a single play. Andy Reid is the smartest NFL coach in like.
Yeah, he could totally. Dude, what's the Dolphins guy again?
Mike McDaniel.
McDaniel.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, Matt, what were you gonna say?
I don't even know if I remember.
Well, I wanted to just say I like besides for their offensive line and their quarterback, I actually like their team. Terry McLaurin, am I right?
I have no idea. I go 50-50 and hope someone's gonna correct me.
He is a absolute beast. And then the defensive line, Sweat and Chase Young. I don't care what anyone said. Those guys are. It's all first round
picks. Was he
picks.
hurt last year though?
Chase Young has been hurt a bunch, but he was the defensive rookie of the year his rookie year.
I remember that. Yeah, against Tom and that playoff game.
Yeah, he had a great game. Yep, yeah, that was his rookie year. So like, they have pieces. And that's what's like interesting. Like they almost remind me of the Bucks before Brady. Like they have the wide receiver, they have the defense,
they the quarterback,
and the coach. I don't know if Ron's the right guy. Ron is like a 500 batter for coaching, but that, you know what? I don't know. I feel for Commanders fans. So as a Giants fan, you kind of hate the Eagles and the Cowboys, but the Commanders, you kind of find camaraderie with them because we both hate the Eagles and the Cowboys enough that like the Giants and Commanders fans are always like, man, we're just at the bottom of the barrel. It's kind of like Jets and Dolphins or Jets and Bills fans for the longest time. Like they both were kind of bottom of the barrel. They were like, okay, it is what it is. But so at least when I see a Commanders fan, like it's more of a camaraderie of like, oh, hey, the NFC, life sucks, right? So I kind of feel for them. But Sam Howell's only had 2 games, so it's like, what can you expect? This guy, he's in for, and he's learning a whole new system this year. So you understand, his rookie year, he had a system, played 2 games, got a new offensive coordinator, now learning a whole new system, has only played 2 games, is the starter. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's a bad move right now.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't draft a quarterback in the draft, it blows my mind. There are so many people, even if they grabbed Hendon Hooker in the later rounds, like
I agree.
It's like, why didn't they just grab anybody? But I don't get.
You know why?
I mean, I hope. Man, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say they didn't draft one because next year there's like 5 quarterbacks coming out. Yeah. Caleb Williams from USC is like the one guy. Tank. Yeah. Tank for Tua, baby.
Yeah. Do you think that's what they're doing? I mean, why else would they be so behind Sam Howell? Like, what's the point of it?
It's kind of... Yeah.
The name of that
scummy. It's scummy. I just don't like teams that do that. The Giants have been bad for years, but like it was called the Chase Young Bowl because when the Giants and the Commanders played a couple years ago, whoever won that game at the end of the season wouldn't get Chase Young. And I remember so many Giants fans were like, throw the game, throw the game. Fuck you, don't throw the game. We drafted Andrew Thomas, who just got signed to the biggest left tackle contract in NFL history because he's arguably the best left tackle in the NFL, and we won the game. So the draft pick doesn't matter. And if the Commanders are going to do that, it's kind of pathetic. It's like Caleb Williams could bomb. You're going to destroy your team's reputation. You're going to destroy your fans. Fans eventually leave. Like, I don't know. You're playing gutsy, tanking. That's just my opinion. Win games.
The Patriots will have a better record than the Commanders.
Yes.
I'm not even going to question it.
Yes. And the Patriots are...
I'm offended that was a thought.
Well, they're the 2 worst. To me, they're the 2 worst in the 2 divisions we've talked about.
I think the Patriots have more variable to them than the Commanders do. I think they're the 2 worst as well, but I think the Commanders are a slot. I think the Patriots could possibly prove me wrong.
I think the Patriots getting Zeke. I can't believe I didn't hear about this. I'm actually really hyped for it.
All right.
I mean, I hope it's sick.
Is there anything else about the Commanders we want to talk about?
No.
Let's talk about the Cowboys. I kind of want to open with this team. The Cowboys will be. I want this to be documented here, so I'll either look like an idiot or look like a genius. They will have the biggest drop from last season to this season. I think we are learning that Dak Prescott is not very good. And the only reason the Cowboys were good last year, if someone came to me and said, hey, why are the Cowboys, why are they doing well? One of the biggest reasons was their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore has a really cool story. When I got into football, which was a couple years ago, he was the backup quarterback for the Cowboys. He retired and then became the offensive coordinator. He was the backup quarterback for Dak his rookie year. Isn't that cool? And so then him and Dak built this friendship, and then Jason Garrett hires Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore and Dak have some great years. Jason Garrett gets fired. They bring in Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy keeps Kellen because Dak likes him. And that was why the Cowboys had some progress on offense. Because Kellen Moore is a very good play caller. Being an ex-quarterback, I think that gives you like a huge advantage. Even the Giants' offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, he was actually a backup for the Patriots and the Eagles for a little bit in the late 2000s. Now Kellen Moore is with the Los Angeles Chargers. Mark my words, Justin Herbert is in for the best year of his career because now Kellen Moore is calling his plays. Dak Prescott always had a ton of passing yards and a ton of touchdowns. He just also threw a ton of interceptions. But now you have rinky-dink Mike McCarthy, who couldn't even get to the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers in his final years in Green Bay, now calling the plays in Dallas. And Dak Prescott, final thing, led the league in interceptions and played 5 less games than most of the other quarterbacks because he was injured.
And so people still rank him in the top 10.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? I'm just... The Cowboys, to me, have some great pieces. Like, of course, like CeeDee Lamb's a beast. Micah Parson on the defense is a stud. They signed Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore, which are 2 good free agent signings. Those are good. But I'm just telling you, I think they're going to have the biggest drop this year.
Yeah, no.
NFL or the East?
They'll be one of the teams that I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year. There's usually 4 to 5 new teams each year that make the playoffs, like total, NFC, AFC. I think the Cowboys will be one of the teams that one of those new teams replaces.
I could definitely see the Cowboys missing the playoffs. I might say at this point in the season they make it just because of Micah Parsons.
He's so good. He's so good.
Horrifying.
And Dan Quinn on the defensive end is such a beast. Dan Quinn was the Falcons coach who tanked that game against the Patriots. Mm-hmm. But now he's their DC in Dallas, and he's been doing a great job the past few years. Kudos to him.
How many teams make the playoffs? In each
7,
division?
so 7 in each.
And then how many divisions are there in each conference?
4. So what
Then they'll
happens?
make the playoffs.
So what
They'll
happens
make
is
the
there's
playoffs.
the winner of each division,
Yeah,
and then
4,
3 wild card teams.
3. Giants, Cowboys. Give it to whoever you want after that. But yeah, I don't think the NFC is looking.
Look at the
scarce.
West. The Seahawks, Niners, and Rams could all be playoff teams. Rams obviously
Dude,
have a tough road.
We'll wait on the West, but what the heck? I don't even know what to do with the Rams in my
Yeah.
mind.
Well, let's stick on the Cowboys here.
I know, but like my
Yeah, I
brain
know.
hurts. I don't even understand.
And no one does.
Yeah, dude.
The other player I just want to bring up on the Cowboys is just Trayvon Diggs. Having someone like Trayvon Diggs and now Stephon Gilmore at like working together, like that's a pretty clutch.
Do you not think?
Great team. I'm sorry.
No, do you not think Trayvon's overrated?
I think he's pretty good. I mean, I've got to be honest. You might know a little bit more about this. Everything I hear from Trayvon Diggs, and like a lot of my watch of the Cowboys was just from last season. And last season, Trayvon Diggs looks pretty good.
He just seems like he bites a lot, and he's either like feast or famine. He either gets an interception or gets burned, and the guy scores a touchdown. Like I can remember a few times Patriots players got touchdowns on Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, I mean, not saying he's top 10. Again, I don't know a whole lot. All thing I hear is that he is just a great. What is his position? Maybe that's
Cornerback.
Cornerback. I always forget defensive position.
That who blocks wide receiver?
Yeah.
It's a weird word. It's a weird
Corner.
I knew he blocked.
Yeah.
I knew he blocks wide receivers. I always just forget that position name.
Yeah, it's a weird name.
I know he's just like a top 10 cornerback, and then you just add Stephon Gilmore in there. That's pretty good. And then again, with Tony Pollard and Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb, like that's just a great team. If Dak can put it together. The
problem is the coaching and the ownership won't let Dak.
That's what I was about to say. I agree with you with the coaching and the ownership. Like I don't hate Dak as much as you probably do, just because I don't care much about.
I like Dak as a person. I like Dak as a leader. I just don't think he's a great QB.
Yeah. I mean,
overhyped.
Dak succeeds, but I don't. Again, I'm just really not sure. I just don't think their coaching is really up for it.
What do you got, John? What's some Cowboys analysis?
I think they'll finish 3rd in the division. I think their coaching is always like really silly, so that just is always to their detriment. And I think in terms of like when they play in their conference, they'll own the Commanders, they'll lose every game to the Eagles, and honestly, you might not love to hear this, Billy, but unless they take a big step down, I could see them going like 1-1 with the Giants. I see that as like
that's what I see too.
Even battle right now, and I think it's a good test for the Giants to like in the AFC East. I can't think of 2 teams that are super lined up. Maybe the Bills and the Dolphins. I guess the Bills and the Dolphins. Yeah, like that's how you know how good they are.
Yeah.
The Cowboys and the Giants. That's how we know how good they are. Who wins those games, and that's I think the best. They're so even, dude. To me, like I see a better offense and a better defense.
I see a better roster and a better coaching staff. That's how I see it. The Cowboys have a better roster, and the Giants have the better coaching staff, and so that's always interesting to me. And you guys know me. I've always said coaching staff is more important,
dude. But I've always said QB is more important, as important as coaching, and I think Daniel's better than Dak, and I think we'll see that this year. We've seen it a couple years now. I think
1 year, 1 year.
We're all going to believe it sooner than later. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
I had a kind of an interesting point to bring up. Unless you had something you want to go on, Billy.
Go, Matt.
I'm all done too.
So, John, you talked about how the Giants and the Cowboys are going to be a great matchup this season. Last season, Giants lost twice to the Cowboys. Were those huge blowouts, Billy, or no? Against the Cowboys, like were they really close, or was it like the Cowboys won?
So Thanksgiving we played them, and it always started out a close game, and then the Thanksgiving game, which was the second game we played them, they I think finished like 2 or 3 touchdowns in front of us, but it was like in the fourth quarter, like the game was over. And then the first game we played them, it was close. We actually had the lead for a little bit, like it was like 13-6 for a while, but then Cooper Rush came out of nowhere and just smoked our defense. But our defense was very suspect in the secondary last year. And then you have to remember the Giants were a new team rebuilding, and the Cowboys were a playoff team. But neither of the games were close, and I want to add on to the back of that. The Giants. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to finish it.
No,
it's gonna
go.
Because the matchup this year is the Giants versus the Cowboys, but the matchup last year was the Giants versus the Commanders. They tied a game, I'm pretty sure, right? Nearly tied it. and then beat them after the bye week. So that was a big thing for the Giants to tie against the Commanders, have a bye week, and then beat them the week after. They took that step up.
The Giants actually didn't have the bye week. The Giants had to lose to the Eagles and then go play the Commanders. The Commanders had a bye week. They got to play the Giants bye week, and then off the bye week lost to the Giants.
That's right. That is right. Now I remember that.
We got our ass kicked by that Eagles game.
Yeah. The reason I just wanted
the Eagles were next level last year.
Yeah, we'll get to the Eagles.
Yeah, we're just talking about the Giants versus the Cowboys, but last year it was just the Giants versus the Commanders, and they were struggling. But you're right. It was a new team. I'm not dissing on the Giants.
No, it's okay.
I agree. I think the Giants are going to beat the Commanders twice, and I think the real battle is against the Cowboys. So it does show that the Giants took a step up. They kind of bad guys they were fighting last season in the game.
Yeah, Matt, your point is so good because it's not that they took a step up, it's that the expectation is they're going to take a step up. And that's the point, and that's what this season is. And so, are we still talking about the Cowboys, or did we move to the Giants?
Yeah, we're still in the Cowboys. We can move to the...
No. Let's make this our transition. But
our
yes.
Plan transition.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to add something.
A fifth grade English teacher would be just so excited about that transition.
Yeah, that was good. It was well done. Paragraph to paragraph.
10 extra points for the best closing sentence and the best opening.
Yeah, but Matt's right. Matt is right about that. And the final thing about the Cowboys, they beat the Eagles on Christmas Day. So give them credit for that.
They beat the Bengals, dude. The Cowboys were no joke last year.
No, the Cowboys
until they played the 49ers.
Well, the 49ers game, the 49ers game was close, but you have to understand, it's Brock Purdy, a 7th-round pick against Dak Prescott, a $42 million quarterback, and Dak Prescott couldn't score 17 points. But in the same breath, Dak Prescott, final thing, the Cowboys will have a very good defense, and I understand that, but you have to understand, good defenses are products of efficient offenses. The less time a defense is on the field, the better they will be. Yeah. Dak Prescott will put that defense in horrible situations. That is Dak Prescott's favorite thing to do, and that is what he will do. The three of us don't agree on much, but the three of us agree with this. The Cowboys will not win a Super Bowl. It is not your year. Quit talking about it. We're sick of it. All right? Please.
Not a top 10
Stop it. All three of us do not like the Cowboys. That is where we agree.
Maybe he's top 10 in the NFC, but he's not top 10 in the league.
Yeah, so everyone needs to chill out.
People keep putting him in that 10 spot. It's so weird to me. I'm
it blows my mind.
Now.
And Kirk isn't even in there. You're
Dak did play a good game against the Buccaneers last year, but the Buccaneers were literally a shell of themselves.
Yeah, a shell.
They lost, I think, the opening game of the year, though. Wasn't it Cowboys-Bucks again?
And the Bucks won.
Actually beat them. They still believed they were good that early on. They didn't realize Tom was... I didn't realize how bad their O-line was. They won by 1 point. Wasn't it 3-4?
No, I'm pretty sure that Bucks team, I think they blew out the Cowboys. I think they won by a ton.
The first year they did. 2021 they did.
Yeah, 2022,
because they played them the opening game 2 years in a row. To my memory, in 2021,
it was a blowout.
Or 22, I swear, dude, it was 6-8. It was.
I thought I remembered a great game.
Because Micah Parsons was having his way with Tom Brady, having his way. That's why Giselle left, because it was basically cheating.
Yeah, with Micah Parsons.
Giants. What Matthew said. It's not that they should. It's that now the expectation's there. And that's the thing. And I want to start with a couple things here. And I'm going to be actually pretty hard on my team. Daniel Jones, you want $40 million a year. That is more. You have more than a right to do that after last year. Daniel Jones last year was a top 10 quarterback. He had the lowest turnover percentage out of any quarterback in the NFL for the whole year. That is ridiculously good improvement compared to the year before. Daniel Jones had 15 touchdowns in the air, 7 on the ground, so it was 22 total. Not amazing, but where the numbers don't look great, Daniel Jones's play was awesome. And when we needed him to step up, in some situations he did. Now, we did lose to the Cowboys twice. We did lose to the Eagles 3 times. Daniel Jones, you want to get paid $40 million a year and eat up that much cap? You got to beat the Cowboys once, and the Eagles game's got to be a lot closer, and you should probably sweat one out. It's about time. Now, Brian Dable, who I trust implicitly, obviously signed off on Daniel Jones getting signed to this deal and felt comfortable with him, so I have faith. And where Daniel Jones has a lot to prove, our biggest asset is Brian Daboll and his coaching staff. Our defensive coaching staff is amazing. The offensive coaching staff is amazing. Our GM is finally good. And we have the coach of the year last year. Brian Daboll, like, let's be honest. Who's a better head coach? Maybe Kyle Shanahan. Is that like the only person who's probably...
Andy Reid.
Yeah, and Andy Reid. Yeah, of course.
And the Dolphins guy.
Yeah, but the Dolphins guy... Daboll's a better coach than
I'm
the
just
Dolphins.
naming like any of like top 5
Yeah,
guys.
maybe
I don't know if I agree with that either. Dude, Bills this year. No one knows about Bill yet. This is his last year to stay in the top 5, in my opinion.
But either way, okay, let's say you're building a team right now in the NFL. Let's say you get to build a team and you get to take a head coach from any team. What head coach are you taking?
Yeah, I'd be excited. I'd be excited to have Daboll.
Who are you taking?
Shanahan.
Okay. I would say my top 3 are Shanahan, Andy Reid, Brian Daboll. Those are the 3 best coaches.
Yeah. If you the only other names you could put in there would just make that a top 5 list.
Yeah.
I still might put Bill above Daboll. That one season isn't gonna put it in like the rankings.
This is the year though for both of them to me.
We'll save.
If Brian Daboll can have 3 great seasons like he did this season, and Bill Belichick has 2 bad ones, I agree with you. But it was only one.
I'm just telling.
I like switching that up.
I'm telling you, if people are building a team for this season, Brian Daboll's a better bet for head coach than Bill Belichick.
Oh, that I agree with.
And that's what I'm saying. But either way, so the Giants, that's their strongest suit. But I could go forever. I just really think Daniel Jones needs to earn his contract. I think he earned it last year, but now you got it. We need him to step up even more. What do you guys have to add? Sorry.
You can go, Johnny.
I think that they're going to be better than people think. In the fantasy league, I told Matt I wanted Danny because I think he's going to have games where he averaged 19.9 points last season. I think he'll average 21 this season, which is
pretty good for a quarterback.
A good draft quarterback for points. That being said, I think it was your guy, your favorite guy, Thibodeau, who got hurt either preseason or week 1.
Preseason.
Can't do that. You do that again. Sit Daniel Jones and run the backup because it's like you need him. And so whatever he was doing last year, he cannot do this year because that's why the beginning of the season had close games. If he was there, they could have won him easily.
Well, it wasn't even just Thibodeau. It was also Azeez Ojulari, our other defensive lineman was hurt. So
figure that out. Right. Got to figure that out. I remember how upset you were about that. And it was like, that was their big guy. And so that was stupid. And then the only other thing I have to say about the Giants, who I think will finish second in the division, only because the Eagles are so good right now, I think it'll be interesting to see if who's the running back?
Barkley.
The Barkley situation has an effect on his play.
It won't. What'll have an effect on Barkley's play is running backs hit a wall one year and then just stop being good.
Yeah.
And that's just going to happen to Barkley. But if it happens this year, Barkley's mindset, at least from all the interviews I've listened to from the coaches and from Barkley himself, and seeing him in practice, Barkley looks like his normal self. But just one year.
I think the good news is there's nowhere he could have gone and gotten more anyway. So it's not like he's like itching to leave. It's just more like, is he less satisfied? Was there extra motivation last year, knowing his contract would be re-signed, knowing if he pushed harder he'd do better? And I think
he has another contract this year, John. He only signed a 1-year deal.
A 1 year, yeah, exactly. But to some point though, it does become I'm not getting what I think I deserve here, and so it'll be interesting to see if there's any of that. I think though, I'm really hyped for Daniel Jones, who I think is gonna be better. I think the continuity of the team's gonna be better. I think Daboll's gonna be even better, and so I think they'll finish second in the league. I think they will have a better record than the
Cowboys.
Yeah, yep, that's what I think.
Go ahead, Maddie.
I'll get to if I think they'll have a better record than the Cowboys at the end. I'm excited to watch the Giants this year just because I think they're going to be a really interesting team, similar to the Patriots. I think they're kind of similar boat, and we've talked about that before, how the Patriots are the Giants of the AFC East. And one thing I will say about the Patriots is if the Patriots were in this division, man, we make the playoffs. so easily. Like
you might only because if you only make the playoffs because 7 teams make it and there's only 4 divisions in the NFC. That's why you might make the playoffs, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, and then look at that division. I mean, there's no way the Pats wouldn't get second in that division, I feel like. But I'm just but I'm saying if you flip the Giants out, I'm not saying they beat the Giants. I'm saying it's like
they're playing each other this year. So
it's gonna be an exciting team. Yeah, I guess that'd
be a great game, actually.
Yeah. Like I don't know where the Giants would place, but I have a feeling the Patriots.
Dolphins and Bills are probably better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in that boat.
I think. Sorry, I know it's your turn, Matt, but the Patriots actually, I think, have it harder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah,
that's
what
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like the Patriots having
conference and division.
Yeah, we have an 8-9 record. The Giants went 9-8, and like they're kind of close teams. But the things that make me nervous about the Giants is just what they did with the offense this offseason. And I'm agreeing as a Patriots fan, I'm nervous about my offense, but I'm also nervous about your guys' offense. Daniel Jones looked great, but if you just have Barkley, I mean, who else do you guys have? Like, who's your wide receiver?
First of all, we got Darren Waller, top 3 tight end.
Like a 32-year-old tight end.
Darren Waller was a top 3 tight end.
Billy smiles a little though, which makes you think.
So let me preface with this. Keep sleeping on us. I tweet all the time. No. We love it. I love it.
That's not an answer to my question.
Okay. So who do the Giants get for wide receivers? I can name it to you. So first of all, last year we signed a guy, Isaiah Hodgins, from the Bills practice squad. He played 6 games plus a playoff game, and he had 5 touchdowns. So that means each game
Where'd the little Bills guy go?
We got him.
Berkeley? No. Bars? It's a B.
Beasley. Beasley's on the Giants, but I don't even know if he'll make the team, actually. We'll see. But we drafted in the 3rd round Jalen Hyatt. He was one of the fastest wide receivers in the drafts out of Texas. And then Paris Campbell, who was a wide receiver from the Colts, who had a pretty good year last year with Matt Ryan. And then combine that with Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard. I'd argue that is a wide receiver room with no clear wide receiver 1, but a lot of substantially adequate wide receiver 2s. I mean, the Giants would have drafted one of the guys in the top round if they were there. But, I mean, do the Giants have a bona fide number 1 wide receiver? No. But do the Giants have way more weapons than they did last year? Yes. And the other thing the Giants did was we improved our offensive line. We drafted John Michael Schmitz, the best center in the draft in the 2nd round. That was huge for us. Left tackle, Andrew Thomas, arguably the best. Evan Neal, 2nd year, needs to prove himself. He was the 5th overall pick or 7th overall pick last year, and now John Michael Schmitz in the middle. That offensive line should be better this year.
Yeah, I mean, that all checks out. That was mainly an ask because I just know the only thing I knew was Darren Waller. I didn't know who you guys grabbed in the draft.
Jalen Hyatt. I commend you to look up, like, he's like you're born. Look up Hyatt.
Tyquan Thornton looked epic when we drafted him. Was super fast, but did not have a great rookie season. Like with rookies,
but then
it's one of those things like you just not sure of. So my biggest issue going in with the Giants is just the offense. It's my thing with the Patriots too. I'm so nervous about this Patriots offense because we don't have a number 1 wide receiver. And it's like you take Burrow, you get rid of Jamar. You take Allen, you get rid of Diggs. The only person it doesn't matter for is Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's Pat Mahomes. But you just need that number 1 wide receiver. And I just say that as a Patriots fan who has been sitting here yelling at Bill Belichick to get anyone who is a wide receiver 1 because the quarterback needs that. And you're not going to be able
but Tom didn't need it.
Mike Evans.
No.
Randy Moss. Julian Edelman. Like, yeah, he needed it.
Julian Edelman is no good without Tom Brady.
No.
I can't speak to that, but Julian Edelman's a beast.
Okay, but either way, the Giants got burned a few years ago because we overpaid Kenny Golladay because we thought we needed a number 1. And if you overpay for the wrong number 1, you're in deep shit. So you have to be careful about overpaying people. So that is why the Giants, instead of doing that, they draft a guy who could potentially be a number 1 in Jalen Hyatt, and then they bring in some bona fide number 2s that they can pay a little bit less that could turn out to be number 1s.
Yeah, the Chiefs did something similar. You know?
Yep, and you have to like Mike Kafka, our offensive coordinator, he comes from the Chiefs. He was their quarterback coach. So and I almost like that mindset better. Like the Vikings didn't sign Justin Jefferson. They drafted him, and then it worked out. The Bengals didn't sign Jamar Chase. They drafted him, and then it worked out. Like, it seems like some of the best teams are drafting these guys. So you have to have faith that Joe Shane drafted someone no one's aware of. Like, no one knew who Justin Jefferson was. He went in the middle of the first round, but no one knew who he was until his first year. So, like, you could have asked, who's on the Vikings offense that year? Well, it was Justin Jefferson. And so hopefully Jalen Hyatt...
But you could say that with any rookie in any, like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying, you're not gonna know until you get out there and you see how it all.
Oh, like I said, sleep on it. Please. Yeah. The whole world is. Everyone just talks about Aaron Rodgers and all of his butt buddies over there licking each other and having a good time in New York. I love it. Don't talk about the Giants. Let us just work and grind. We don't need the publicity. Daniel Jones doesn't need to be on. Yeah, Daniel Jones doesn't want to be on quarterback 2. I don't want no one talking to him. Leave him. Let him be. Let him get ready. He's good to go.
And the only other thing I was just going to say was the Giants was similar a little bit. You know, Daniel Jones hopefully will get better this season. I really do think he will, just because he is going to have that same system that he has had last season, which that hasn't happened to him before, getting 2 years in the same system.
Yeah,
but
good point.
If Daniel Jones doesn't get better, progress, and Barkley gets hurt, what happens to that offense? It's similar to Josh Allen. What happens if Josh Allen gets hurt?
Yeah, you got Tyrod Taylor, one of the best backups.
I mean, you got, but like, that is just my thing with the Giants right now. It's like, that's just...
Yeah, but you could say the same thing about Mac Jones. What if Mac gets hurt? You're done.
I mean, we have Zappy, who's looked decent, and Malik Cunningham, who is a random, who could be anything. That's the wild.
Malik Cunningham could be like top 5 quarterback in 5 years. You don't know.
I think both of your opinions on a lot of things are skewed due to your intense.
That's why you're in the middle, John.
Philly to mediocre.
We have three. There's an unlimited ceiling. I can't think of the correct
unlimited.
Unlimited.
Yeah, there's a limited ceiling right now for all 3 quarterbacks right now. Daniel Jones has the same thing. There's no one under Daniel Jones who does.
The only thing is Daniel Jones has been getting.
He is the same as running back. The sky's the limit, but there's no one under him that sky's the limit.
This is the final thing I want to say. Where the Giants and the Patriots are similar to me, I feel like the Giants are ascending and the Patriots are descending, but they're both in the same point right now. And that's one of the things that concerns me. Where I feel like Belichick's deteriorating as a coach. I think Dabo's is only going to get better. Where Daniel Jones is moving up. Mac could move up. I can't say the same thing. But again, with the Giants, it's just you got to go prove yourself now. And I think all your points were good, Matthew. But just please, everyone, keep sleeping on us. Tell me we're gonna go 6-11. I'm just so here for it. It's not even funny. Please, like I love it. I love it. You have like these people. Oh, there's like the little dipshit on Colin Cowherd's show. He just goes off, and he's a Jets fan. Jets fans. Oh my God. Good luck with Aaron Rodgers. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna say.
You keep saying that randomly. It's because
they're like they're the other New York team,
and they're in the AFC East. You guys are biased. That's all I want to say. Before the season starts, the Jets will be better than you two think. I'm certain of it, because you're so biased, thinking they're going to be so bad.
They're in Matt's division, and they're like my other team in the state.
They're going to be so bad. You guys,
they're not going to be so bad. I don't think they're going to win one game. I bet you they're going to win like 7 games.
I think they're going to do good.
They're going to win like 6 games, John.
I'm honestly excited. I'm excited to watch Aaron go out there day one. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like
me too. Against Von Miller with that offensive line, dude, that it's gonna be. You know what you call that? That's a 6 a.m. wake up call. That's a good morning and a God bless right there. You hope that works out.
I think the Bills take as big a step.
Okay, we've talked about the AFC East. We've talked about the AFC East.
The Cowboys aren't on the AFC East, are they, Matt?
I have. There's a team we have yet to talk about.
Yeah, we got it. We're almost at time here.
My next A+ segue into.
This is Matt's favorite.
Boys, let's go, boys. No. Of course, we got the Eagles.
I have no idea what the Eagles have done other than a coach.
No, they literally drafted all of the Georgia Bulldogs, so it's just. I mean,
you're gonna have a great team.
I watched their preseason game against. Who did they play against? And all of their rookies looked destructive. Like, they drafted this defensive lineman. I forget his name now, but he's a freaking monster.
Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter. I mean, he's an absolute... He's a bulldog. The Eagles...
I want to look up their schedule real quick.
Literally, Jalen Carter...
Their first game's against the Pats. Sorry.
Yeah,
Matt.
it is. Their controversy was
poor Matthew.
hey, if there's any week you're gonna beat the Eagles, it's week 1. But or
True.
week 1 or one of the two.
Yeah, true, Matt. That's a good point.
Jalen Carter was literally ranked the #1 player in last year's draft, and there was some controversy before the draft. That's why he fell a little bit. But the Eagles got him. The Eagles, with like the best team, got the best player in the draft. Like that's absurd.
No, and the Eagles somehow had a top 10 pick last year after going to the Super Bowl because the Eagles they did a couple things right.
I remember this.
Their general manager is an absolute stud. Howie Roseman, he's an absolute stud. Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, the Eagles have a pretty hard schedule.
Like, of course they do.
I'd imagine.
But
depending on where you're listening, a pretty hard schedule.
But the Eagles arguably have the best complete roster in the NFL. Do they have like the best quarterback? Jalen's good. Do they have the best coach? Reed's better. But as a complete team, I mean, the Eagles are just an absolute stacked unit. And I'm gonna be very frank. I absolutely hate this team. Like I hate them.
They'll go 5-0. They'll go 5-0 their first 5
Yeah, they're gonna be on
it's
a
everything
tear.
after the 5th game gets hard.
And the thing is, the Eagles. This is my final thing I'm gonna say about them. I hate them, but that team has so much heart and so much passion, and the fan base. I just hate them. But I cannot deny how much heart they have, and it would not shock me if they're in the Super Bowl again. Do I want to see that? Please no. Please, God. If there is a God, please do not make me have to watch the Eagles fans be that excited for that long just for it all to come crashing down again. Like, I told you it would happen. I told both of you that night.
That's what I want to say.
But my thing is, if someone said, hey, you need to pick a team that's going to be back in the Super Bowl, the Eagles are the best sure shot to be back there because of the division they're in, the conference they're in, and the players on their team. Like, they're beasts. Hate them, root against them, burn in hell, but goddamn it, they're good. I'm all done with the Eagles.
Mine will be quick, Matt. Yours will be longer. Yeah. The only thing I have to say about the Eagles is how amazing they looked all year and how I know the Super Bowl was closer. It was a close game, but in my memory, like I don't remember watching like Andy Reid and the Chiefs sweat. Like Andy Reid
Eagles had
the
the lead, John. Eagles had the lead for a while.
The Chiefs sweat against the Bucs. Like when they were down by 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, they were sweating. They were never sweating against an Eagles team that looked unstoppable. The Eagles were like 13-1, and I think they only lost 1 game, maybe in my memory, maybe 2, maybe 1. And I think they blew it on purpose. Like they didn't start Jalen because
it was to the Commanders. They lost.
Yeah, dude, some random weird division game was kind of a fluke. And the Chiefs lost a lot of games, so it's always so funny to me. The Chiefs lost like 3 or 4 games, I think. One of the Bills, maybe. I know they lost to the Bengals once. And so it's just interesting because as good as the Eagles are, I don't think they win a Super Bowl this year or next year. Because I think whichever AFC team they go against is going to win, which I think is weird. And they can't do better than last year. So as much as I hate to say this sentence, I am just going to say it. They will have a worse record than last year because I do not believe they go 16-1. So I think they are worse this year, or they have a harder schedule or something. So that's all I have to say about the Eagles. But amazing, good, could easily be in the Super Bowl. But I think they lose the Super Bowl, and I do think they'll have a worse record than last year.
I do think they'll have a worse record than last year. The only reason I think that is because they're
perfect.
Their defensive coordinator and their offensive coordinator.
Great point. Forgot about that.
I think
they're both head coaches.
Yeah, they're both head coaches now. It's well deserved after that season. They both earned it.
On which teams?
Shane Steichen's the Colts.
Yeah, and
the Cardinals. Yep, defensive coordinator. Cardinals.
So I do think they won't be as good, although I think it was just they plucked people from that system and put them in the defensive offensive roles. I think that's probably the best case scenario, so it'll probably work. My hope is that it's Matt Patricia as offensive coordinator soon for them. He is but no, I do think this is a Super Bowl team. If this team goes and wins the Super Bowl, I won't be surprised. I think them adding AJ Brown was the final piece. The fact that you have Jalen Hurts, who's a great quarterback, and then you got AJ Brown, who's a great wide receiver, along with great running backs, a great defense, just everything. So much depth on that team. Like the backup for that team right now is Marcus Mariota. It's a pretty good backup. This team is just solid all the way around. Someone gets hurt, someone's gonna come out and replace them. They're literally Hydra. Cut off their head, 2 more take that place.
That's true.
I can't say that. That's why I think
no Super Bowl hangover.
Not for this team, because
I just think they're too good. I think they're just gonna come in and like I think maybe my hope is they're a little rocky week 1. Like Patriots come in, light them up.
Big win.
It'd be a huge win. They're like, oh shit, we got to figure some stuff out. And once they put everything together again with their new offensive and defensive coordinators, they start rocking forward. That's my opinion on it, though. But the only thing that puts them down, I think, is just the offensive and defensive coordinator.
John, the other reason I don't have a Super Bowl hangover, just quickly, this is a very good question. When the Rams won the Super Bowl, they spent all their draft picks and paid all their players massive amounts of money. The thing about the Eagles is they really have built a football team the right way. Like, when you go to build a team, like, the Giants. You know who the Giants' assistant GM is? The assistant GM from the Eagles. Joe Shane came to the Giants and hired one of the guys right under Howie Roseman from the Eagles and brought him over. Howie was pissed about it because the Eagles have built their team the perfect way. You build through the draft. You pay your players, but you give them the players take discounts because they want to stay with the team and they see the team is succeeding. And then at the last second you sign that one last perfect piece, that Stephon Diggs, that AJ Brown, that one last piece to put you over the top. And AJ Brown is absolutely that one piece. So there's no Super Bowl hangover because they didn't lose anyone. They kept everyone. So
yeah.
The only
the
coordinator point could be a problem. That's a good point, Matthew.
Yeah. My last thing I was gonna say was I just love Jason Kelce.
Beast, absolute beast. The better of the Kelce brothers.
Yeah. I agree. I love that man.
Both of them are great. All right, to finish off here, we're coming up to an hour. This is a good long podcast here.
Can I have a quick aside? I just wanted to pull this up because I thought this would be funny. While you guys were talking, I just had to Google this. The beginning of the Buccaneers-Cowboys game did go 19-3 at the beginning of last season. Bucks won 19. Cowboys only got.
Did they?
Oh
yeah, I thought I remembered that.
When were the points like scored though?
I don't know. I just see the final.
I think it
all in the fourth. I don't remember. I just remember the. Bucks.
I think it was all in the fourth. I think it was like 0-3 the whole game.
Or like 6-3.
Yeah, then they just like gave up at the end.
Wait, all right.
Fair.
Where do we see these division finishing? So I'll start. So I think the Eagles clearly are the favorite. I can't deny that. I'd like to put the Giants in second. I'd like to put the Cowboys in third. And then the Commanders in a very close fourth. And if the Commanders can find the right side of a couple games, maybe they could be third and the Cowboys will be fourth. That's my thought.
Fair. Matt, I take back what I said. It was $6, 3 Dallas, $6, 0 Dallas, $7, 0 Dallas, Bucks won. So it was not in the end. You're right. They scooped them. To my NFC East prediction, Eagles win easy. Maybe 15-2. Right, 17 games total.
Yeah, but it's one bye week, so you'd be 15-1.
Oh, 15-1. No. Then 14-2.
Fair. I think they finished 13-3 last
you know
year.
what? Actually, I'm gonna go 14-3. No, then 14-4. They have a hard schedule at the end of the year. They go like.
You mean
Bills,
12-4?
Chiefs,
You mean 12-4?
12-4. Let's say 12-4. Only because they know they're the best, so they're not gonna sweat as hard. So 12-4. Like if they like some guys kind of hurt, they're gonna sit them. They're gonna be like, listen, you know what? We know we have this division. Let's take it easy. Kind of like the Bengals did last year. Like when anyone's even a little hurt, they were like, you know what? We know we're gonna be in the AFC Championship. Let's not push it. So 12-4. Giants in second, at either 11-5 or 10-6, and Cowboys in third, one behind whatever I just said, and then the Commanders in last by 4 games. So they only win like 6.
I like it.
I put Eagles. The only reason I would say Cowboys, and I maybe understand some people saying Cowboys there, would be the fact that the Giants lost twice to them last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think Giants though. I think the Giants are gonna make an upgrade because of Brian Dable. So I'm doing Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders.
Yeah, so we all did the same one. Eagles, Giants, Cowboys.
We all did the same one.
We
Yeah.
all did the same one.
All different AFC East, all the same exact NFC East.
Which makes a good
It's a little
point.
more predictable. The
Yeah.
NFC's a little bit. The NFC is a little bit more.
Which makes a good point
The
to what
only
Matthew was
difference
saying.
is, like Cowboys, Giants, and I think no matter. No, yeah.
It was to what I was saying. If the Patriots were in this division, if you just flipped them, because I think the Giants pick is gonna be one of the best games of the season. Who knows?
It'll be very good.
Depends on where they are. Like if the Giants are feeling good and the Patriots are on a lull or vice versa, I think it could be an easy win for the other team. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll be talking about another division next week. And we will catch you.
Which division?
We'll do the West. We'll do the NFC West. We're doing no order. We're just doing order of interest.
NFC West.
So
we should do AFC North.
AFC North, another good one, yeah. We'll put in the comments down below which one you want next. If someone comments down below, we'll follow that.
Yeah, I'm down.
I like it.
Peace out, everyone. We'll catch you soon.